We back with another one, and I ain't gonna lie, boy, I'm excited for this one, bro. Why? Because I've always wondered why slavery was even a thing. Why the Caucasians or whatever you want to say, organics, want to That was stupid as hell. Nigga called them organics. What the fuck? Hey, no, but on some real shit though. Why was slavery even a thing? Why do why was African Americans always looked down upon to this day? To this day, that crossed my mind multiple times in my lifetime, and I seen this video, so I'm like, shit, this motherfucker read my mind. We gonna get straight to it. No more talking.
Seems as though everywhere Africans or Afro-descended people are, no matter the geographical location, they've experienced some form of oppression, discrimination, or prejudice. This has been going on for quite some time. Some scholars
Bro, I'm so high, bro. The video's not even on, bro. My bad, John. It is what it is. Y'all rock with me. I ain't have a full
have attempted
screen.
to figure out why this is the case, and some have come up with some interesting explanations. From my studies, it seems as though Africans and their descendants across the globe historically have been viewed as some sort of threat. And so today, I wanted to talk about some of the potential reasons as to why this may be the case.
Yeah, let me know something. Talk about the history. Come on. Y'all watch that Black Panther movie?
What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and welcome back
Shit
to
was
another video
cool.
of African history, culture, and worldview. By
I ain't
supporting
watch it
this channel
hard
on
though.
Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and supporting
Shit.
this content. If you'd like access to full courses and sources, or you simply want
Nope.
personal opinion on the topic based on my own analysis of world history,
Okay.
ultimately, there is no conclusive
My bad. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna skip. I'm just gonna skip ads. You feel me?
answer
I
to
ain't
this
gonna skip this
question,
video. I
as
got
we
you.
can't get into the minds of non-Africans. All I can do is highlight some patterns and draw some conjectural conclusions. Also, this video
It's obvious. They're scared. They know we're stronger.
is not intended to be some sort of plea for empathy or acceptance from outside of the African diaspora. It's simply
Stronger than the
intended to be
racist ones.
considered as a working
Dog, your hairline is crying out for help, man. I thought my shit was bad, bro. Your shit is saying, Jesus, take the wheel. That nigga said, Sky. Jesus took the wheel and kind of went straight back with it, but the tractor fucked it up.
model,
When I say tractor, I mean them clippers.
showing how history evolved into what it is
I
today
know,
as it
I know
concerns
it
our
ain't because you were
current
seated.
social, political, and economic
If it is,
condition
you might as
as
well chop it.
Afro-descended people. I really appreciated the perspectives you all gave in my last video, and so I'm hoping that we can do the same. So let's begin. Despite questions concerning the reliability of Greek scholars and historians like Diodorus Siculus and Herodotus, their work highlights a very important narrative that did exist in ancient times. Whether their words about Africa were
Damn, that shit look crazy. I ain't never really been outside of my city. Like, I've been outside of my city, but not really, bro. That shit crazy. That shit huge, bro. Nigga, bro. My city right there. That's how big my city is right here. Yeah, not the whole thing. Just this right here.
true or not, they
You feel
expose
me?
what
Just
the
this.
common discourse was in ancient times amongst elites, an ancient commentary that influenced later periods. Some of the ancient narratives suggest the belief, or at least the consideration, that Africans were the first people and also that they were among the first civilized. Now, the Ethiopians, as historians relate, were the first of all men, and the proofs of this statement, they say, are manifest, for that they did not come into their land as immigrants from abroad, but were natives of it, and so justly bear the name of autochthons, is, they maintain, conceded by practically all men. Furthermore, that those who dwell beneath the noonday sun were, in all likelihood, the first to be generated by the earth, is clear to all, since inasmuch as it was the warmth of the
Hey, I'm trying to look past it, bro. I'm trying to look past it, but we need a little more empathy when you talk. You feel me? We need a little more. You feel me? You sound like a robot that don't even want to be here right now. I ain't gonna lie. The robot just doing it. You know what I'm saying? The robot don't even want to be here right now. That motherfucker robot, he just trained to do what he wants. You know what I'm saying? But fuck.
On which, at the generation of the universe, dried up the earth when it was still wet
Keeping the
and
beans.
impregnated it with life. It is reasonable to suppose that the region which was nearest the sun was the first to bring forth living creatures. I find it
So what that
fascinating
mean?
that a Greek scholar came to a similar conclusion as we did concerning the origin of humans, placing them on the African continent. Echoes of this narrative survived into more modern times. One of the most popular
That dirty ass river.
Orientalists, known today as the general title Middle Eastern Studies, was a man named Constantine de Volney of the 18th century.
Oh,
Here's what he has to say. We have the strongest reasons to believe that the country
this is what he said. How y'all still got what he said from 200 plus years ago? How y'all still got that?
neighboring to the tropic
That ain't that long ago. 200 years ago, it's only like a few lifetimes, but still.
Sudan and southern Egypt was the cradle of the sciences, and of consequence that the first learned nation was a nation of blacks. For it is incontrovertible that by the term Ethiopians, the ancients meant to represent a people of black complexion, thick lips, and woolly hair.
Take care of your
Yes,
skin, my
sir,
guy. It's
bro.
not
Come
even
on,
that
bro.
hard.
Oh my
This is the shit I
God.
be talking about, bro.
No. If you're struggling with
Stupid ass up, bro. See, that's the thing. I was just talking to myself earlier about this, bro. Yeah, talking to myself, because that's who I talk to, unless I'm talking to y'all or my peoples. But look, though, I was just telling myself, I'm like, bro, I'm so glad I drink mostly water, bro. Imagine I'm out here drinking nothing but pop and juice and acne drink. That's what that shit, that's really what it is. It's acne. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad my shit ain't bad. I seen some bad acne in my days. You know what I'm saying? I don't judge people, because that's not my job. That's God's job. But how the fuck did I start talking about this advertising? Stupid ass shit.
Despite what our perspective is today, people in ancient times and even some of the earliest observers concluded that humanity's oldest civilizations and people were Africans. It's important to note that this perspective was only recently challenged. I think if we use this ancient perspective and the perspective proposed by de Volney, we can certainly see the beginning stages of how African people came to be viewed as a threat, because the implications of being the oldest human people possessing the oldest civilizations
Why bro eyes look like some Fruit Loops?
is obvious. The second reason why African people may have been viewed as a threat plays on the previous ancient model. Because of the narrative advanced by ancient writers and their modern contemporaries, a primordial fear of genetic annihilation inevitably developed. So the thought process
I, I I don't know if he finna say this, so I might be wrong. But if he finna say what I think he finna say, I've heard people say this before. I've heard people say they didn't like black people and they had slavery and shit like that because they always wanted white people to be the superior race. Didn't want black people to overshadow, or like not overshadow, but like become more black people than there is white people. So now we kind of run the shit. You feel me? Because it's like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what he gonna say.
could possibly be the following. If these Africans are the oldest humans who possibly spread throughout the planet, then humanity can easily go back to its original African mold.
I think I'm from Zimbabwe. I don't know what it is about that word with that but I love it. Zimbabwe. I just want to say that shit all day long, nigga. I think my past life I was out there or some shit, bro. That's love that shit. I don't
Even
know.
though
I
it
ain't
may
even
sound
been
odd,
out there.
this was a thread of thought in the psychology of the one drop rule, which pretty much
Keep
stated
it.
that if anyone had one drop of African blood, then they have corrupted the non African blood and therefore should be considered black or Negro. It seems clear that this idea was developed to
Yeah.
identify African ancestry in whatever color or phenotype it came in. This identification would then lead to oppressing that individual. keeping them in the same denigrated state as other black people so
Ew.
that they would not have to compete economically, socially, politically, and especially genetically. However, this idea of genetic annihilation was not present amongst all European ethnic groups. In Latin America, for example, the Spanish and the Portuguese seem to have children with their enslaved African women and even claim them, creating a new class and ethnicity. These individuals, for the most part, had privilege and access to the goods and services the society could offer.
That's them house slaves. You know what I'm saying? I think I probably would have been one of those. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of mixed. You feel me? I would have been a house slave, but I would have been like, I would have been a house slave that got kicked outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, run my feet. No, nigga. Get your ass outside. Pick that cop, boy.
This also seems to be true amongst the Arabs to a degree. The Arab slave trade was just as brutal and dehumanizing as the Atlantic slave trade, and they certainly had children with enslaved African women. Some of these children navigated the world as an Arab
And that shit's so fucking weird, nigga. Y'all rape bitches. You know what I'm saying? But you feel like y'all superior race. Nigga, I don't know who the
because they
fuck you
adopted
think
the
you is.
identity and the culture of their Arab father in full. Some of the Moors reflected this reality of Arab
I'm
and
saying it ain't even Black History Month no more. Nigga, the fuck is we here with?
African parentage, but again, identifying in full with a non African father. But at the same time, many Arabs perpetuated the culture of eunuchs among their enslaved Africans, seemingly to
Hey, why Shawty look like that one dude off of Dragon Ball Z with the, you know what I'm saying? The Dragon Ball Z dude. Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. I forgot his name.
rid themselves of that genetic threat. So there does seem to be some duality there. All in all, the idea of Africans posing a genetic threat did not apply to all, but was unique to some non African groups with imperial power.
What's wrong with black jeans though? I got some black jeans on right now. You feel me?
Our final threat seems to come from the fact that the African continent holds so many resources, and these resources ultimately translate into wealth. It's no secret that many modern day nations want to control the resources coming out of Africa, and they do a good job at it. This was certainly true in ancient and medieval times. I think the Arabs were well aware of this when they first encountered the Ghana and Mali Empire.
I'm gonna keep pausing this my channel, Cry Me a River, bitch. But look though, I fuck with you. Not you, the crybaby bitch. The motherfucker, the other motherfucker, you listening right now. Look, I gotta ask you something, bro. Let me know in the comments. What's the craziest animal you ever witnessed in your life? You know what I'm saying? I've never seen anything. I've never seen an animal. No, I never been to the zoo. You know what I'm saying? I've been to the zoo, but when I was young as hell, I don't remember shit. You know what I'm saying? So I never really seen an animal besides dogs and cats, and deer and shit. You feel me? Chickens and roosters and shit. Hey, bro, let me know in the comments what's the craziest one you seen? A lion, tiger, bear, what a panda? I don't know shit. Let me know.
Muslim writers spoke about what they heard from the merchants who traveled to Ghana and its adjacent civilizations. It is no exaggeration to say that the Arabs were very impressed with the wealth of the Ghana Empire. The first writer to mention the Ghana Empire was an astronomer named Al-Fazari, shortly after the year 800 AD. He referred to the Ghana Empire literally as the land of gold. A century later, Ibn Hakel described the king of Ghana as the richest sovereign on earth, for he possesses great wealth and reserves of gold that have been extracted since early times to the advantage of former kings and his own. Ibn Hakel also writes in his description of Sijomasa concerning its trade across the Sahara and with Ghana. I saw a bill in Adugas certifying a debt owed to one of them of the people of Sijomasa by one of the traders of Adugas, who was himself of the people of Sijomasa, and the sum of 42,000 dinars. I have never seen or heard anything comparable to this story in the East. I told it in Al Arak, in Fars, and in Khorasan, and everywhere it was regarded as a novelty.
I want to skip to
As Sheikh Ante Job says,
I want to skip into my video so I can do what I want. But I'm not going to because y'all probably don't want me to. So I won't. But damn, man, let's.
Afro-
I'm paused, nigga. Damn. Oh shit. It's muted.
legendary wealth that it led the Arabs to say, against the camel's mange use tar, and against poverty make a trip to the Sudan. This speaks volumes as to how Africa was perceived. Everyone who knew about its wealth wanted a piece of it. As we can see, the Arabs encouraged it, making a proverb out of it. And Mansa Musa's visit to Cairo, displaying his vast wealth and power, certainly oohed and awed, but it simply gave more reason to heighten fears of a black planet, if you will, because everyone knew that access to wealth and resources consolidates and increases power, period, and whoever owns it controls it. And it's clear that Africans were deemed as the owners, first from the Arab perspective and later the European. This was indeed a fatal combination for Africans who were seemingly more interested in other forms of capital rather than world domination. And so, this history paints an interesting picture of why Africans and their descendants may be viewed as a threat. The early narrative of Africans being the first humans, the limited yet ever present idea of genetic annihilation, and finally, the perceived advantage of immediate access to wealth and resources made Africans a threat to their neighbors, the Arabs and the Europeans.
So since we was balling, we was a threat. That's what y'all saying. We was rich, and that's what y'all saying.
Both of which took action as soon as they could. I believe this is why there was so much pushback against Pan African movements and economic powerhouses like Black Wall Street and others. Because if people of African descent all across the globe can consolidate a unified identity, they can then become owners again. Anyway, guys, like I mentioned before, this is just my own personal analysis of world history. I really hope
Right.
some will.
So basically, what he's just said was anything that he said in this video is cat. You know what I'm saying? Let me not say cat. Let me just say it's not factual. It's just opinion based off of the research he's done. You know what I'm saying? And shit, that's all we know right now. So shit. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for stuck around. Let me know in the comments right here, right now. What's your favorite animal? And let me know. I'm not what's your favorite animal. I'm asking what's the craziest animal you ever seen? And also let me know in the comments what y'all want me to react to next. Anything you want me to react to on YouTube, we doing that shit. Other than that, we gonna get straight to the old man's advice before I go get my day started. You feel me? Let's get straight